Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star episode number 326 based on novel. So let's start. Luo Feng quickly realized that the place he had been taken to was probably one of the most mysterious places, if not the most mysterious place, in an already exceedingly enigmatic universe. Luo Feng looked around. Universe Masters are already the pinnacle beings in the universe. Who could possibly be able to harness my mind and bring it here, removing me from the territory of Primal Chaos City Leader, without being noticed? Perhaps only the universe itself could do this. The light spots were floating, but they were all dodging Luo Feng. Luo Feng was bewildered. Each of these light spots is even more powerful than Master of Sky Wolf. What are they? Suddenly, one light spot turned into a flash of light, shooting toward Luo Feng. The spot traveled much faster than light speed, as if light speed was not the speed limit in this space and time. Before Luo Feng could so much as begin to run away, the light spot hit his mind. Images flooded Luo Feng's mind, whizzing by in quick succession. Luo Feng saw the birth of the universe, the birth of every life form living in the universe, and their destruction. The scenes were overwhelming, and they left his mind, forgotten, about as soon as they entered. It was impossible to remember it all. An infinity's worth of information merged with his mind. Luo Feng's mind was kicked out of that space and time. In the human territory of the universe, primal region, within the domain of Thousand Treasure River. Primal Chaos City Leader didn't even notice what happened. Although he could control this region of time and space, his control was nothing compared to the will of the universe itself. If the universe wanted to punish a particular universe master, it could strip him of his control over time and space. The operation of universe laws was beyond the awareness of Primal Chaos City Leader. Within Luo Feng's palace, his original earthling body, sitting with his legs crossed, opened its eyes. Confusion flashed in Luo Feng's eyes, followed by shock. Bug Clan Queen and the Bug Clan warriors regained consciousness, but they had no idea what had just happened. Only Luo Feng knew that time and space had been momentarily frozen. Luo Feng immediately examined all of his bodies. Remote Ocean Body was still over 55,000 miles tall with a life gene level barely over 10,000 times. Nothing on my body has changed, he said. My original Earthling body, the Golden Horned Beast body, the Mosha body, and the Remote Ocean Body all are the same. Except... no. Something's different. Luo Feng instantly noticed the core in the world ring. The core had turned blurry and indistinct, as if endless space and time were contained within it. What? What happened to my core? Luo Feng was astounded. He had never witnessed or heard of anything like this before. My mind has been bestowed with information containing an incredible talent technique. The core has changed drastically as well. Everything happened after my Remote Ocean Body reached its ideal state, he thought. The life gene level of my Remote Ocean Body had just passed 10,000 times, but it hasn't hit 10,100 yet. Is it at 10,081 times? So, the perfect life gene is 10,081 times of that of an ordinary life form? Luo Feng extrapolated. He shook his head, deciding not to think about that for now. He started to examine the core again. My mind was instructed in an incredible talent technique. The change in my core should be beneficial. Luo Feng recalled the technique he had just obtained. He had forgotten everything about the birth and transformation of the universe, but he could distinctly remember the casting method of a set of talent techniques. He didn't know the details, nor how the set of talent techniques was created. However, the method for performing the technique was sculpted in his mind. A set of talent techniques bestowed upon me for no reason. It must be a gift from the universe. Is it a gift given to me for reaching the perfect life gene level? Luo Feng speculated. Talent techniques were generally scripted on the skin or on the life core in the form of lore engravings. However, the techniques Luo Feng had been bestowed with this time were scripted directly in his mind. Talent technique, I am the universe. This technique was extremely powerful. When it was performed, godly power was burned and transformed into a micro-universe, allowing the user to trap his enemies inside the universe. Inside the micro-universe, the enemy's power was significantly weakened, whereas Luo Feng's own power surged within it. If he chose to self-destruct, the enemies would be annihilated instantly. This talent technique required an overwhelming amount of power. According to the instructions, the prerequisite for performing I Am the Universe was having a remote ocean body with a perfect life gene level. In addition, remote ocean body needed to be undying before he could perform it. An undying remote ocean body with 30 times amplification of the undying body, and the body needed to be burned. These were the basic requirements for casting I Am the Universe. Every time it was cast, it would last for at least 9 seconds. By Luo Feng's calculations, remote ocean body would be completely burned out after only performing it just 10 times. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. Unbelievable. Incredible. But I love it. An undying remote ocean body was even stronger than Shuchong Emperor, yet the amplification needed to be 30 times or more. And burning his godly power? Even in normal combat, Luo Feng was superior to quite a few universe knights. This new technique would consume 1/10 of his more than 55,000-mile-long godly body. A technique that would devour 10% of his godly body must have been incredibly powerful. Luo Feng could hardly imagine such a thing. It was inconceivable. For what it's worth, it's extraordinary, Luo Feng thought. Remote ocean body is stronger than many universe knights' godly bodies, and many universe knights are only several dozen feet tall, which means most of them aren't able to perform this technique. Only those with enormous bodies can perform it. Luo Feng knew nothing of the secrets behind I Am the Universe. Fortunately, the method for performing it had been seared into his mind. What am I supposed to do? Luo Feng was baffled. If I turn remote ocean body into a sea again, the sea will keep expanding. The new remote ocean body would be inferior both in size and in life gene level, which means I wouldn't be able to perform I Am the Universe after becoming undying. Golden Horned Beast body's life gene level can advance again after becoming undying, and he could almost reach 10,000 times. However, he's only around 600 miles long, so his body won't be able to support that technique. Luo Feng was nervous. Even a large godly body like Golden Horned Beast wasn't enough when performing I Am the Universe. Unless, that is, Golden Horned Beast body can also gain a perfect life gene level and expand his body, Luo Feng thought. Otherwise, I could only lure enemies into the boundless remote ocean and let him perform the technique, but that means the boundless remote ocean would not be able to move. Luo Feng was faced with a choice. Should he turn remote ocean body into a sea? If he did, his power would be weakened outside the boundless remote ocean. Plus, the only way he would be able to perform I Am the Universe would be if he was lucky enough for his Golden Horned Beast body to also reach the perfect life gene level. On the other hand, if he chose not to turn into a sea, he would have terrific combat power. His remote ocean body, which stood over 55,000 miles tall, would be able to roam the universe. The downside was that his godly power would be consumed quickly, and it would be tricky to supplement the power. Luo Feng pondered the possibilities for a couple of minutes. I chose this body to be immortal, said Luo Feng. If I don't perform transformed ocean, I sacrifice that opportunity. Instead, I'll gain incredible combat power. But even inborn beast gods with immense combat power can still die. Survival is more important than power. As long as I can stay alive, anything is possible. Golden Horned Beast body can also be much stronger someday. Even if I can't perform I Am the Universe when I become undying, I can certainly perform it when I become a universe knight. Luo Feng had made up his mind. There's no need to rush. Besides, the boundless remote ocean can still perform it when it becomes undying. Later, the 55,000-mile-tall remote ocean body stood high in the sky. Transformed ocean. Remote ocean body growled. This would be the last time he existed in his original remote ocean body form. From now on, he would take the form of a sea, the boundless remote ocean. Even remote ocean body went out to fight, it would do so in the form of a body that was significantly weaker than the original. The remote ocean body dissipated immediately. Churning, crimson waves appeared in the sky, forming a bloody sea with a diameter of almost 600,000 miles. Talent technique, creation. A remote ocean body that was more than 5,500 miles tall, with a life gene level of 1,000 times, appeared. World energy flooded into the bloody sea. The sea immediately recovered the energy lost by the body. The stunted body then merged with the bloody sea, and it expanded again. The bloody sea expanded so fiercely and quickly that the universe crystals Luo Feng took from his servant were gone. Undying fighters didn't carry adequate universe crystals, but universe crystals were fairly cheap. After all, the universe crystals used to build a giant world ring were only worth 1 or 2 mixed elements. Luo Feng went to buy more. I'll have 1 million mixed elements worth of universe crystals, said Luo Feng. 1 million worth. Are you sure? A million's worth of universe crystals, Mr. Luo Feng? Yes. Deliver them as soon as possible. Right away, Mr. Luo Feng. They will be delivered soon. Luo Feng purchased universe crystals recklessly and threw them in his internal world. The bloody sea kept expanding. It soon surpassed the limit of 50 million miles. 55,000 miles. 60 million miles. It kept expanding even as the internal world shrank. The waves were tumbling, and Luo Feng's internal world became a bloody sea completely. Most of the land was devoured. The only land left was an island with a diameter of about 600,000 miles at the center of the bloody sea. At the center of the island was a dual-world pool where the golden horned beast digested everything after performing swallow. At its center was the golden horn world stone. Apart from the island, the internal world, which had a diameter of almost 60 million miles, was filled with a boundless bloody sea. The bloody waves were halved, and a huge figure wearing black armor with red trim walked out on the waves. It was the newly created remote ocean body, standing at a height of more than 5,500 miles with a life gene level of 1,000 times. This is not good, remote ocean body murmured. The bloody waves were like springs, and he stood on top of them, riding them up and down. The entire internal world was within his sight. The internal world has been completely flooded aside from the dual world pool, yet the bloody sea is still expanding. If the internal world keeps expanding, my core might not be able to withstand it. Most of Luo Feng's consciousness left the remote ocean body and returned to the core. He started to study it carefully. Wait, he said. My core seems to have changed completely. Indeed, the core had taken on a strange, blurry appearance after the majestic transformation, and it now seemed to be holding the 60 million mile internal world with ease. Normally, the larger an internal world became, the greater the burden it put on the core. For instance, if someone used the move, swallowing metal, to enlarge his internal world, he needed to use gold energies to strengthen his core. Only then could he have an enormous internal world. For some reason, my core doesn't feel pressured at all, thought Luo Feng. Does it mean the internal world can keep expanding? It's worth a try. Up in the sky above Luo Feng's boundless bloody sea, tons of universe crystal mountains appeared. One of them melted instantly. World energy beyond measure spread out and merged with the internal world. Until now, the bloody sea had been absorbing all the energy, but to make sure the bloody sea could keep expanding, the internal world needed more energy. The internal world devoured the world energies like a starving child. The world trembled. The bloody sea kept growing and growing. Atop the waves, remote ocean body guffawed. Larger. My internal world can indeed grow larger. Fantastic. But the best way for the internal world to grow larger is for it to swallow metal instead of using universe crystals. The purest gold essence that the internal world could not absorb was concentrated on the golden horned world stone and would enhance the core, strengthening it so that it could carry a larger internal world. Once nearly every 1,000 years, the four pinnacle races would engage in war with one another, each time resulting in a tremendous amount of scrap metal left behind. Those remains could be reused if they were refined. Unfortunately, it was expensive to refine the remains, rendering them almost worthless. When it came to E-level alloy remains, they were always pricey. I'll have 100 million mixed elements worth of scrap metal, said Luo Feng. Mr. Luo Feng, the amount of material you require is lower than the quota of free items for you, came the response. They are all free. Luo Feng grinned. An intact E-level spaceship worth 100 million mixed elements was gigantic, yet the equivalent was being given to him for free. This made scrap metal much more cost-effective than using universe crystals to expand his internal world, especially if they were being given to him for free. The golden horned beast went into a world ring with a diameter of more than 60,000 miles containing vast quantities of remains. Howl. Golden horned beast enlarged his body using deities of the world. He then opened his mouth and performed the talent technique, swallow. The body opened its ocean-sized mouth, contorting the space within almost 60,000 miles. Countless metal alloy remains flooded into his mouth as if swallowed in a vast abyss. The dual world pool digested all the metals, and a golden mist permeated, absorbed into the internal world. The internal world started to expand crazily. The gold essence that couldn't be ingested by the internal world was absorbed by the golden horned world zone. Strangely, the core wasn't changed by the internal world as it expanded. It seemed that swallowing metals wasn't beneficial to the core at all. Weird, said Luo Feng. My core has been morphing ever since I swallowed the metal to enlarge my internal world when I became a 9th-level sector lord. Is it saturated? Even with the help of the 9-volume manual, the original remote ocean body couldn't improve its life gene level after hitting 10,081 times. Was this also the case for the core? Was swallowing metal no longer useful because it had already reached its peak level? Doesn't matter, thought Luo Feng. I'll just let him swallow all the metal. He will be exhausted, but it will strengthen my golden horned world stone. Generally, strong golden horned beasts have internal worlds with diameters of 60 million miles, and golden horned world stones are treasured by universe knights. As for mine, only a few unique life forms could reach a life gene level of 10,081 times. Luo Feng wasn't sure if he was the only one or not. However, given how incredible the 9-volume manual was, Luo Feng reckoned that even if one individual among the golden horned beasts was as powerful as his, he would have been cultivated by a universe supreme master. Swallow the metal, Luo Feng commanded. Time to see how powerful my golden horned world stone can become. The amount of alloy remains Luo Feng needed shocked even the seniors responsible for Rubbish Starfield. He bought them in a world ring, and they had hardly ever seen anyone consuming scrap metal remains so fast. It's still not enough, Luo Feng realized. My internal world already has a diameter of more than 60 million miles, and it still hasn't hit its limit. Luo Feng was completely stunned. He didn't realize that his internal world was so enormous. Give me more alloy remains, he said. Luo Feng didn't take no for an answer. The larger my internal world is, the more stable and more powerful my future godly kingdom will be. Luo Feng looked forward to the results. When will my internal world stop expanding? Under normal circumstances, a world ring with a diameter of 60 million miles would only consume universe crystals worth several mixed elements. The reason why they were so cheap was that sector lords could resonate with the land of origin, priming unlimited universe energy and aggregating it into universe crystals. The price went down because they were easy to make. A world with a diameter of 6 billion miles would only consume 1 million mixed elements worth of universe crystals. A world with a diameter of 600 billion miles would only consume 1 trillion mixed elements worth of universe crystals. Luo Feng used alloy remains, which cost significantly less. However, he still used tens of billions of mixed elements worth of alloy remains. The amount was within his quota. Besides, Luo Feng didn't care much about the money. Any random treasure he had was worth at least 10 trillion mixed elements. The internal world continued swallowing world energy and expanding for more than 3 months. Golden Horned Beast only rested for a total of 1 hour a day for those 3 months, 6 naps a day for 10 minutes each. He used swallow continuously when he was awake, and the alloy remains kept being devoured. The diameter is 600 billion miles now, said Luo Feng. It has finally hit the limit. On top of the bloody waves, Mosha body, Golden Horned Beast body, and remote ocean body all gazed out at the internal world in shock. This was inconceivable. A golden horned beast would normally only have an internal world with a diameter of 60,000 miles. This one was now 600 billion miles in diameter. What on earth happened to my core that it can carry such a vast internal world? Luo Feng wondered aloud. He was thrilled. He was aware that his core had evolved drastically after his mind gained the talent technique known as I am the universe. Mosha body, Golden Horned Beast body, and remote ocean body all flew to the sky above Dual World Pool and looked down. 2 flashes of light shot out from the Dual World Pool, causing ripples in the surrounding space. Although the Golden Horned World Stone was hidden in the Dual World Pool, it emitted a golden glow. Forming an internal world with a diameter of 600 billion miles had cost an outrageous amount of scrap metal, and the gold energy essence brought special changes to the Golden Horned World Stone. My Golden Horned World Stone might be the most powerful one in the history of the universe, Luo Feng thought. It might be one of a kind. Normally, Golden Horned World Stones are the precious possessions of universe knights. My Golden Horned World Stone is 1 trillion times stronger than average. It must be unique and highly valuable. Luo Feng could sense that this Golden Horned World Stone would be marvelous, but he wasn't able to see it yet. My internal world has reached its limit, he said. Golden Horned World Stone has also reached its limit. Ha ha. An internal world with a diameter of 600 billion miles. Bloody sea. Show me how large you can expand. Luo Feng continued to expand the bloody sea. Tons of universe crystals were delivered into the internal world, and the bloody sea grew with unstoppable force. One mountain of universe crystals after another was delivered into the internal world, fueling the speed of the expansion of the bloody sea. As all the godly power contained a life imprint, losing godly power was equal to losing part of one's soul, which was exceedingly difficult to recover. It was easy for Sector Lord-level bloody seas to expand and recover, as long as there were adequate energies. After a month, the bloody sea has finally stopped expanding, but its size is within my expectations, said Luo Feng. The towering remote ocean body stood on top of the bloody waves and looked at the boundless bloody sea. The crests of the crimson waves tumbled, and a bloody essence pervaded the entire internal world. Remote ocean body laughed loudly. The laughter sounded like thunder. The diameter is 6 billion miles, which is already bigger than all the bloody seas and small royal seas in 9 remoteness space. The difference between a life gene level of 10,081 times and 300 times is indeed impressive. Sector princes only had bloody seas with a diameter of 50 million miles, and even the royal seas of the undying princes only had a diameter of merely 600 million miles. By contrast, the royal seas of the universe night princes had diameters of 20 billion miles at least. The difference was due to the gap in life gene level. That was why Luo Feng's bloody sea was so enormous. The bloody sea has finished expanding, said Luo Feng. The third move of my star map will soon become a pinnacle technique. As long as I can fully comprehend gold law, I can break the shackles on the core, connect the law ocean, transform my godly power, and become undying. Luo Feng ordered the waiters in his palace to prepare a feast and invited his servants, including Qian Chen Emperor and Ji Hong Emperor, to join in the meal with him. After the feast, I'll be devoted to studying gold law and trying to comprehend it. I will become undying after that. Luo Feng laughed. Honed Heart Emperor smiled. Our master's law comprehension has already reached the undying level, and he won more than 620,000 battles on the Borhinia Island, where there were all kinds of talented heirs. Apparently, even when compared to the emperors of other races, our master is exceptionally strong. Master, you will surely become undying easily. If you can't succeed, who can? Qian Chen Emperor added. We'll congratulate our master beforehand, for he will become undying soon. All the servants raised their glasses. How wonderful! Luo Feng raised his glass as well. Success in a single stroke, he said. Time to become undying. Luo Feng drank up. It was extremely difficult for some life forms to become undying. The Bug Clan Queens and the Cloud Contact Vines, for example, only became undying after their law comprehension could rival that of an emperor. Other beings like golden horned beasts also needed deeper law comprehension to break through because of the shackles on their cores. As for Luo Feng, his law comprehension was already at the undying level. And his beast god conception was at the 21st level of the heavenly bridge. His will was stronger than most universe knights, and his spiritual force amplification was 32 times. Powerful will. Beast god conception. Spiritual force amplification. Self-created pinnacle techniques. These attributes formed a powerful combination. I'm already as strong as an invincible emperor, said Luo Feng. It'll be no problem for me to become undying in one stroke. Luo Feng looked forward to it. Perhaps the pinnacle techniques he had created were slightly inferior to invincible emperors, but his will and beast god conception were superior to theirs. There's no way I can't have my breakthrough. I'll study and try to comprehend the gold law. Luo Feng had stopped studying gold law a long time ago, as he was on the edge of fully comprehending it. Once he fully comprehended gold law, he would become undying, and there was no going back. He would have broken through before he had finished his third body. Gold law, thought Luo Feng as he sat down in his palace with his legs crossed. Qian Chen Emperor and Ji Hong Emperor both waited behind him. While half of Luo Feng's mind was comprehending gold law, and the other half was creating and perfecting the third move of Star Map. His law comprehension was almost at the same level as that of universe knights, and studying gold law was like a graduate student studying elementary school subjects. But even grad students were susceptible to careless mistakes. He needed to study it carefully. In the most towering palace of Thousand Treasures River, Primal Chaos City leader stood on the top floor of the towering palace, leaning against the handrail. The territory within Thousand Treasures River was entirely within his sight. He gazed at Luo Feng's palace. It's been 1,500 years since he came back from 9 remoteness space, and he's been creating the third move for his pinnacle technique ever since, said Primal Chaos City leader. Why hasn't he become undying now that his move has become a pinnacle technique? Is he still comprehending gold law? Although it's difficult to make a breakthrough at the last step, his law comprehension is extremely thorough. He must be able to finish it. Primal Chaos City leader was perplexed. This disciple of his had already completed his third body, and his law comprehension had already reached the pinnacle undying level. Why was he delaying? Luo Feng had been studying the gold law in his palace for 300 years when he opened his eyes and smiled. So, this is gold, he said. A sense of completion filled his heart, a sense of satisfaction of fully comprehending a universe law. A connection suddenly linked Luo Feng and the gold law ocean of the land of origin. Boundless amounts of force were transferred from the gold law ocean. The core inside Luo Feng's body was originally an origin pearl, but upon absorbing the energy from the gold law ocean, it took on human form, a shape that looked like Luo Feng. The law comprehension is completed, and the origin has gained its shape, thought Luo Feng. The core is broken, and undying power fueled it. The soul and the body now merge. These were the basic steps to become undying. The core became a space all its own. When the origin pearl turned into the shape of Luo Feng waved his hands, and the energies became crystal balls. Complex law engravings were etched on each of the 1,600 crystal balls. Warriors and spiritual force leaders alike relied on origin pearls to become undying. As for the spiritual force weapons they used after the origin pearls took shape, they transformed from the energies. How? 1,600 crystal balls made up the bone structure of a beast god after being connected by countless law threads. Each scale on the beast god acquired exquisite details. Beast god conception. Spiritual force amplification. All the consciousness and mind. Break the shackles. Become undying. Break. 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 All of Luo Feng's bodies had fallen asleep, and all his mind focused on the breakthrough. With the help of the gold law force from the universe, Luo Feng reached his limit. Inside the core, the beast god roared and bashed against the periphery of the core with his outrageous conception. At this moment, the beast god looked like a ball of flame. It hit the inner wall of the core like a burning star. The third move of star map, star and fire soaring sky. It was based on the bone structure of the golden horned beast. All the attacking power passed along the bones, and then the golden horned beast would round the enemies with its head. Perhaps the move was not as swift as the first and the second move, but it was far mightier. The internal wall of the core started to tremble. The core started to crack. The cracks on the core started to blur. Suddenly, all the cracks disappeared. The core remained intact. Just as Luo Feng used the most powerful attack, the force from the land of origin dissipated. How was it possible? Luo Feng roared. Break! The golden horned beast hit the internal wall of the core like a fireball, steaming energy surrounding him. The golden horned beast bashed the core time and time again. Each time, there were cracks after the crash, but the core recovered automatically. After more than 10 crashes, the beast god crumbled, and the crystal pearls were all crushed. Luo Feng stood in the dark space, dumbfounded. How is this possible? He muttered. Why can't I become undying? I have a will that is stronger than most universe knights. Beast god conception. Spiritual force amplification. Pinnacle techniques. I have all of them. My will and my beast god conception are especially powerful. I can't even break the shackles on my core with all these combined. Why? Luo Feng just couldn't accept this. With his will, beast god conception, spiritual force amplification, and pinnacle techniques all at the same level as invincible emperors, he had thought that becoming undying would be a piece of cake for him. A sector lord who could rival an invincible emperor in every way couldn't become undying? This was inconceivable. Even though it was difficult for him to break the shackles, he was already high-achieving at all aspects and was second only to universe knights. Every bite and every sip are preordained, thought Luo Feng. Every bite and every sip are preordained. Fortune and misfortune are neighbors. Luo Feng sat in the space of the core, shook his head and sighed. He had obtained the 9-volume manual, and his remote ocean body had reached the pinnacle life gene level. What's more, he had been bestowed a set of talent techniques by the universe. His core was so sturdy that his internal world had expanded to a diameter of 600 billion miles, and his bloody sea now had a diameter of over 6 billion miles. Everything was so wonderful. Little did Luo Feng realize while he was thrilled by the power of his core, he wouldn't be able to break its shackles. How can I become undying? Luo Feng murmured. He smirked. I've never doubted for a second that I can make my breakthrough and become undying. I never expected that even at this level I still wouldn't be able to break the shackles. This video will end here.